Welcome to this grammar seminar webinar on simple sentences. We're going to have 3 key learning aims: understanding main clauses, understanding the subject-verb-object, and adverbials and complements. Now, simple sentences are not as simple as you would think. Of course, they are made up of a subject and a main verb, like these ones here. You've got the subject, the boy, and the main verb was, the boy was small. Or the subject, the floorboard, and the main verb creaked. However, there are several other parts of a simple sentence. So they do have a subject, they do have a main verb, they can stand alone on their own, but they also can include an object, an adverbial, and a complement. So this sentence here, my teacher called my project a masterpiece yesterday. You have a subject, my teacher, the verb, called, the object, my project, complement, masterpiece, and the adverbial, yesterday. So even though it's a simple sentence, you can see that it's actually made up of 5 different parts. Let's go through those parts quickly. So first one is the object, subject, verb, object. The object is the item, the thing, the place that receives the verb. They found, what did they find? A house. I planted, what did I plant? A flower. We said, what did we say? A prayer. Jem dropped, what did he drop? A book. And the dentist wrote, who did he write? He wrote to you. However, sometimes the object is direct and sometimes it's indirect. So the direct object, what we looked at just now, they receive the verb, but the indirect object is somehow affected. So, for example, I wrote a letter to my mother. My mother is an object as well, but she's an indirect object because I didn't write my mother, I wrote a letter to my mother. The same with this one. I baked a pie for my sister. I didn't bake my sister, I baked a pie for my sister. So they're both objects, but my sister is an indirect object. I made a present for him. I didn't make him, I made a present for him. And here are some other examples. The head teacher spoke to me about the incident. He cooked pasta for his family. He tied his shoe to the tree, and I gave you a chance. Now, what about adverbials? Well, they tell you how, where, when, and why. So give you that extra information, sometimes using adverbs and other parts of speech. So adverbials would be Goldilocks fell asleep. So fell asleep, we've got the subject, the verb, and then the adverbial, in the bed after eating a huge breakfast. Dylan banged his head, subject, verb, object, and then the adverbial on the counter when he tripped over the rock. Students rushed into the canteen, subject, verb, object, and then the adverbial at midday. The dragon flapped his wings and flew with a roar and a puff, adverbial. How did he fly? And then I tried to build the wardrobe. How? By myself. Right, now let's talk about complements. Now they add extra information. So subject, verb, object, adverbial, complement. So these complements can add extra information to the subject, or they can add extra information to the object. So these are subject complements. She became, subject, verb, a doctor. It's adding extra information. It's giving us more understanding about the subject. The gardener was a hardworking employee. This is me. Subject, verb, complement. I felt hot. The sun shone on the wet grass. Subject, verb, complement. And you've got some more examples here. Now let's look at all of them together. Subject, verb, object, complement, adverbial. Subject, verb, complement, adverbial. Subject, verb, adverbial. So let's quickly recap. What is a main clause? And what other parts does a simple sentence contain? I hope you can answer those questions. Otherwise, watch the webinar again and have a go. Thank you for joining me.